Hello everyone, Bill Parish here from GTT Audio, and welcome to the channel today. Well, I wasn't going to do a video this week. I was going to wait until I got back to Munich, but a few things came up and I just had to get this out. I thought I would touch base rather than having 3 weeks go by. We'll do back-to-back weeks here. And in continuing with what I talked about last week, as far as all the press we get and the reviews and so on and so forth, just this past weekend, you had over at the Audio Analysts, Maurice Jeffries joined Greg, and they talked about upgrading a Kronos turntable. So you should check that out. Sparta turntable over at the Audio Analysts. That was just a great episode. Also, we did Expona. Expona we thought was great, and now we're getting some recognition for it as well. We've got Mark Phillips over at Part-Time Audio gave us Best of Show, along with Michael Bump over at Enjoy the Music. So this meant a lot, especially from both of these guys. Yeah, it was quite the honor. And you can read all about this along with linking to the Audio Analysts all through our Facebook wall. It's all posted there, like I said that we do all the time with press. So there's one thing that I want to talk to you about today. Power chords. Do they make a difference? I can't believe that I'm talking about this on this channel where we sell these super systems. GTT's known for super systems. Everything we do is super high end. But recently, I've sold a couple of very high end items, and clients have asked, do they come with a power cord? And actually, they don't. At least the particular pieces I was selling. But, it just brought up an interesting topic where I was just really stunned that, people are using stock power cords. I know these guys are using, high-end cables throughout, but they didn't think that power cords made a difference. And all what I can say, as I told them, I'll send you some and let you try it. Or don't let me tell you, but if you have not tried aftermarket power cords, you should. Now, there are some that are clearly worse than the stock ones. But then there's some that make the stock ones, the stock ones will make you sick by comparison. Okay, so there are some massive differences. There are some companies out there that have built their entire reputation on power cords. Now, I'm not so hip on that. What I like to do, obviously we carry Kabbalah Sosna. They have 10 different SKUs, and in every SKU you have, interconnects, speaker cables, power cables, digital cables, Ethernet cables, USB cables, etc. But they have their entire lineup is complete, throughout. And at least there's always a power cord, an interconnect, and there's speaker cables. And what I am very sensitive to, and all the equipment that I carry, and the speakers that I've always carried and represented and my ears are drawn to, are phase-accurate products. And so I want a phase-accurate system. And if you are mixing and matching cables and using this brand for this and this brand for that, you end up changing phase throughout the system. So I want my power cords, because what you have in any cable is you've got your choice of material and you have your geometry. That's it. I mean, yes, conductor, but that's material. So it's material and geometry. This is what makes up any sort of cable. And so I want the material and the geometry from my power cables, my interconnects, and my speaker cables all to be the same. And then I get the same phase. I don't have phase shifts and different phases throughout the cable. And that doesn't even get into what we've talked to before on the channel is about one having a yin here and a yang there, and trying to balance things, and having a bright cable with a dark cable and trying to combine them. And if you do that, you can get a tonally accurate system, but you also hurt resolution. So if you are, no one's going to give you anything that's good. Most of the companies today are not even supplying power cables because they do not expect you to use them. And if they are giving you a power cable, they're really not expecting you to use them. And it's a $2 cable that they're including to say they gave you something, or to, at least let you power it on. But as an audiophile, you should have a bunch of those laying around. And if not, they're $2 or $4 or $5 on with tariffs and taxes and inflation today. The other probably $5 or $6 on Amazon, but they used to be $2. All right, so so try power cables. If you do not use the stock power cable that most people are not giving you today, and if they are giving it to you, like I said, just to be repetitive, they're not giving you anything that they expect that you are going to use. Okay, I mentioned the term tonality, and one of these days I'm going to try to do a video on how to listen. What I should do is at Exponent next year give a class on how to listen. It might be beneficial, but you want to have, and part of the phase and picking the right components and all that, you want to get the proper tone, the proper tonality. You want violins to sound like violins, pianos to sound like pianos, drums to sound like drums, and guitars to sound like that. Now, of course, there's variations in each one of them. No two sound identical, but you can get proper tonality. After that, the single most important thing out there is dynamics. That's in real life. You have tonality and you have dynamics. And if your audio system doesn't have that, there's no way it's going to fool you that you are listening to a real event. And to me, and most of my clients, I think that's what we're after. We're after trying to recreate a facsimile in our room of the real thing. In any case, we're going to talk a whole lot about that in the future, whether it's on an episode, whether it's at a class at Expona. We're going to figure that one out. And maybe Dick and I will do a joint video on that the next time he's out, because he's all into it as well. All right, we're off to Expona on Monday. We'll be back a week later. We'll be giving you a lot of videos from all the brands that we represent at Munich. Thanks, and take care.